Invisible Man again. Invisible Man, please. Alright, yes, we are back. I'm back. Everything's back. Awesome. Love it. Alright, so we're going to get into set number 8. I'm good with counting. Promise. Set number 8 is going to be gold. Right, gold versus gold. ZVT on Shakura's Plateau. There's another fun map, especially depending on what spawn positions you can get on this. So it'll be cool to see what's going on. It is match point at this point. One more win and UnRivaled will take home 3rd place. And we are in game, spawning here in the top right position of Shakura's Plateau. In blue for Team UnRivaled, it's our Zerg player, Cobalt.
And towards the bottom left-hand side of Shakura's Plateau, we have spawning for CT6 the orange Terran player at Talizabeth.
Yeah, I'm just with Tally.
Yeah. I mean, you got to say the full name first, and then you can butcher it however you want afterwards. I guess that'll be a rule of casting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tally is another German on CT6. Pretty sure. I don't know why it's Elizabeth on NA, but it's Tally Timla on EU, so there's that. Yes, this is a goal game, partner. This map was a lot of fun, and especially like if you think about it now in like terms of play styles now, especially if they happen to get that close by air spawn position, and if we do have a Terran player in this game. Heard her.
Yeah.
Reapers coming through this back hallway. Absolutely.
Also,
hilarious.
Tanks sat in that back hallway. I did a 2-base tank call-in when I was left versus like top or bottom spawns, both players, and like just sat there. I lifted my units down what used to be the ramp on this map, if people weren't fully aware. Like this area by the gas geysers on each base used to be a ramp. And you could sit there and siege up and kill the gas geyser, which is really dumb. Yeah. But if you're Terran, it's not dumb. It's balanced.
Well, couldn't you? There were other maps where you could bug. I can't remember what map it was, where you could bug out and get like outside of the map with a tank, pretty much, and siege it up. Like you can see all these like doodads of the terrain outside the base. You could like drop a tank over here, and like stack tanks on top of each other. I do remember that like dragon doing that.
Yeah. So we're missing something interesting, actually. Allow me to cut you off for a moment. Tally had gone gas first against Zerg, which is an unusual play. And they screwed up a replay. Alright, never mind. I guess Cobalt won there.
Somebody DC'd. I think Tally probably DC'd, so they went back from replay.
Cool. So we got the gas first, which is unusual. We're going to be seeing fast tech of some kind. The question of whether we see the second gas come to L. The second gas, what do we want? Tanks, Ravens, or Banshees? What do you like? Or battle cruisers?
Well, it's not Vesp and it's not Babe Puncher, so I'm not going with I'm not going to go with battle cruisers. I'd say probably Banshees. Maybe. Well, there's probably I don't know, because there's no add-on being made on this barracks right now, so it's kind of awkward to tell. And that was I was going to say that was a super fast tech lab on the factory, but then it got lifted, so
It's
So
still going to be a tech
Banshees
lab,
have.
though, I think. He just wants
Yeah.
to move it back in case a link comes up and sees, hang on, that's a tech lab. What's going on here? I mean, at this stage, it still could be a CC, like, being safely built in the main base if a link scout came in. But luckily for Tally, there's no overlords actually anywhere nearby. So this I assume will be a cloak banshee, is going to be pretty safe.
A little bit of an issue with Tally's gas, however. There's only one SCV in a gas catcher, and once again, canceling an add-on. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but what is that? Something like 76 gas at this point that's been lost? And with the gas not taken correctly immediately for Tally, this Banshee, I mean, the Banshee has started, but okay, there's Cloak. Also,
20 seconds late.
There's no follow-up. Yeah, there's no follow-up like units coming out of either one of these buildings. There's no reactor on this barracks or anything. There's not even extra CC started, so kind of a
At this
rough
stage,
start,
yeah, I think I
but
would
it is.
start the CC. And here we go.
There's a CC coming down, so that's nice.
I mean, some of this is like nerves, you know, like even us supposed high elite players like me and Diamond, you do get the nerves, or at the very least an absurd amount of adrenaline during these games, and they just make you do things that you wouldn't normally do, and you really got to play a lot of these games before you can at least get used to that or mitigate that level of nerves or adrenaline or whatever. So, I mean, given the gas first, this is a fairly standard follow-up with the reactor coming down and CC, but things are a little bit late. But the only real problem here is this Banshee is going to fly directly through all of these overlords, which is a bit sad.
Yeah, assuming, I mean, it's flown through a second overlord now, and hopefully Cobalt has realized that's a thing, and realized it's coming. Hasn't quite yet reacted to it, I don't think. No, just 8 drones are in production, and a couple of Evo chambers, but no spore collars being created. I mean, there are a lot of queens out and layers on the way, but Cloak is going to be finished. That means there's not going to be any detection, and this Banshee is already here. Cloak available for Tally. Just needs to kind of use it. There we go. Finally, one spore collar coming down in the natural base. Cloak does finally is used now. Still no actual kills on the Banshee, however.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of nerves coming out of both players here, mostly. I mean, the Banshee was mismicroed at the start there, but now it's racking up the kills. But Cobalt saw this Banshee pretty heavily, both by the lack of a command center and then just by it flying through the overlords. And there was quite a delay on these block crawlers coming up there. So either, again, that's the nerves thing coming up with these games, or it's just a minimap awareness thing. But we do have a second Banshee, which is, I think this is also rallied through another overlord. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. And actually, I'm pretty sure Cobalt transfused a drone. I'm pretty sure that happened. While that Banshee
I've
was
seen
attacking.
pros do that before.
Yeah,
That's
you may
fine.
as well.
Pros
It's not attacking anything else. It's fine. That was really hilarious. But this attack that's going to be coming from a Cobalt eventually. 1-1 is on the way for these roaches. Lair is already finished. Doesn't have like a ton of gas right now. He has finally taken all 4 of these gases. He's got a third hatchery that's coming out on the way as well. Gonna be able to pump out a lot of units, but this Banshee in the main base kind of going to town a little bit, getting some kills, getting some work done. It's got 4 kills on it. It's gonna have to walk away from the spore collar now, however, but getting a little bit of worth out of these Banshees, always nice. I mean, you invest into it, you gotta hope you get some kills on it. And behind this, Tally setting up very nicely in the main base. Got 4 barracks going to be finishing up here. Stim is about halfway finished. Natural hasn't been taken, however, so it's kind of awkward. Tally has been setting up to actually defend, however, so that's nice. The Banshee is still in the main base, being an annoyance, being a nuisance. Got 6 kills on it, so that's nice.
The thing with these one-base players, you really have to pay for your own aggression with these worker kills that you're going to be getting, because if you're doing a standard like Reaper Hellion 3CC, you're landing your 3rd base now, ideally. And the natural hasn't even landed yet for Tally, and that's fine given the gas first, mostly one-base opener. But it just really shows the difference between these kind of openers. But we do see that is, 14 drones killed, and both Banshees are still alive, I believe, so all well, that's worth it so far. And given the fact that Cobalt, his build setup was definitely a 1-1 roach timing push, with around, like, I don't know, 25, 30 roaches about a minute ago, actually, is when that should hit. So that shows how much pressure these Banshees have been put on. And Cobalt has effectively been forced out of that build, because Banshees are one of the various tools that I used to stop these kind of roach pushes. So Cobalt's just kind of chilling right now.
Yeah, the Banshees are definitely going to be helping. And a really good thing for Tally is that Tally has kept the Banshees alive. One of these has really low health, but it kept it alive. It means they're going to town right now on these roaches that are moving across the map. Always roaches can't do anything. It also means that this Widow Mine is in a really nice position to get a nice shot off. Going to chew out off a good amount of that health. There's another Widow Mine set up. There's 2 bunkers set up. There's not a whole lot of units outside of that. There's a drop moving across the map with a bunch of the Marines that are actually available. So Cobalt is getting on top of everything here for Tally. Tally repairing the bunker as best as he possibly can. It does fall, however. Banshees are going to eventually clean this up, but a lot of damage is going to be done.
I think Tally's holding this really well, actually. Given the fact that these Banshees are here, the Widow Mines, yeah, they don't kill so much, but with this second detonation that's about to go off, these roaches are all going to be so weak that the Banshees can clean up. And this drop in the main base is going to do so much damage.
Yeah, a lot of more workers are going to be falling off. It's going to probably even up the worker count here eventually. And with the 3rd Command Center on the way for Tally, mules, pumping away for Tally as well. The drones did get pulled away by Cobalt, so that's nice. He's going to save some of those at least. But the Queen goes down in the main base as well. Eventually, these reinforcing roaches will clean up this drop. Hopefully, Tally's able to get on out there, and he does pick up, and he's going to leave. With an extra 6 workers killed, and that is all that that's all Cobalt killed. Cobalt killed 6 workers across the map. Tally did the same.
Yeah, and the unit loss tab really tells the tale right now. There's been a lot of action throughout this game, but most of it has been Cobalt's units dying, and nothing has really been achieved so far, apart from Cobalt securing this 3rd base, which is actually fantastic. But with the drop now landing here, this will have to be pushed away here by these roaches, and the follow-up is going to be continued into Roach Hydra. Given this map, what do you like about Roach Hydra? Have you tried it here?
It can be okay. I mean, there's a lot of really choky points is kind of the problem. If Tally sees this coming, is able to set up tanks in a nice area, I mean, getting through the middle of this map is going to be next to impossible. Especially like defending. Even defending the 3rd base is going to be pretty simple. There's not really many avenues you can come in. Yeah, you can destroy the rocks back here behind these kind of general 3rd location, but you're going to see where your opponent's coming. There's not many ways they can come at you. And you can set yourself up defensively to deal with that. But I think if Cobalt, he's going for that 2-2, as you said, he's just going to max out on 2-2 Roach Hydra and just focus on just out-macroing his opponent. I think that's a good focus to have, especially at this level. If you just focus on your own playstyle and not really worry too much about what your opponent is doing, other than setting yourself up a little bit better to win. And if you just macro better and you have more units, you're gonna have a good time in most of your games.
Yeah,
I love the
I mean that's what you've been listening in on some of my sessions with our all-in golds and platinums, and all I've been basically saying is if you spend money and aim move in the right direction, that's going to actually win you a lot of games.
Yeah.
And that's ideally what you should be focusing on.
Increased Red is getting pretty good here for Cobalt. He's got a lot of higher energy queens, and there is another drop coming in the main base for Tally, but I think that was seen by Cobalt and reacted to. Most of his army is moving back to deal with this. So this drop shouldn't do too much, especially the SCV that we picked up with it. Probably isn't going to do too much either. There's another kind of one nice, one of the nice things about this map for this kind of play is being able to actually spread the creep like this all the way across the map so quickly. There is another drop for Tally down at this 4th base location, just going to town in the hatchery. So Tally realizing that, okay, you're going Roach Hydra, you're not going to get across the map. You're not going to have mutas right now. I'm free to drop and just keep you back. Kind of like how we saw in the Cannon Rush game, where he used the War Prism to keep back Ray. Tally's trying to do the same thing, but I don't think Cobalt's going to have any of it. He's moving across the map right now and doing as much damage as he possibly can with his own army.
Yeah, but this is at the forfeit of his own 4th base and maybe even his own main base with the units here re-landing once more. So Cobalt has to do damage here, and he is 70 supply up, so we'll have to see how this goes. He's smashing through the Widow Mine, the bunker, going to be picking off both of these Banshees as well, finally falling after such a long service life. Banshees normally die after like a minute with my game, so that's really good.
There's a tank on the high ground up here for Tally, which is doing a lot of work. Only 3 kills on it, but a lot of this Roach Hydra army is really low because of that tank. The bunker is still here. Tally forced to lift the natural. I just realized that Tally did not lift the 3rd base and actually died off. So that's
but Cobalt also just lost his main base.
Oh gosh, both players are losing a ton right now.
Yeah.
Similar again, these games always kind of mirror each other, but Cobalt with a massive supply lead. Actually, the army supply is just so huge. I don't know if Tally's going to be able to actually hold on up top, even with these 2 tanks shunning away. Kobos is going to move command on top of those tanks and take those out, and in doing that, despite losing his main, despite losing his fourth, and still taking some damage over his third base, he's doing a lot of damage. And there it is, GG from Tally. And actually with that, UR will go ahead and clinch the week and clinch third place for themselves. So
nice.
congrats
Well
to
played.
UnRivaled.
UnRivaled.
Yeah. That was still a really close game. I think this series was extremely close in every aspect of it. We do still have the ace match. We will cast that because I mean, we do cast every game that gets played. No point not to. But yes, that does mean that this series is technically over. UnRivaled will, for the first time in 3 seasons of being in the Consolation match, actually win the Consolation match. So congratulations to them. And of course, we'll play 2 CT6. I don't think really none of these games were just straight up. Well, I think the most one-sided game was probably the Don Jimbo Y54 game, but beyond that, they've
The
all
first
been.
one as well was quite one-sided. The
Yeah.
11-11.
Yeah, but even so,
But
they
even
did
then,
a lot of damage.
long
yeah.
games.
It was really nice to see. So we do have the ace match left over to do. I'm going to get into that in a moment once I decide to actually do things correctly with my life.
I don't think it's quite that bad.
No. So this will be an ace set, so it is a best of 3. It's going to be starting on Akalon Wastes, and in a TVZ even, so.
Nice.
And a TVZ from a
Most
clan that's...
people's favorite matchup.
Yeah, but on Akalon Wastes, so... We've seen some interesting games recently on that, of Mech versus Zerg. Seen some almost 2-hour-long games on this recently in the CTL, so I'm kind of frightened. But hopefully this game isn't going to go to that point, because we do have another cast coming up. So,
And I want to go to bed at some point
right?
as well. So, fingers crossed. I mean, it is possible to crack mech on this map, especially at our level where we're not those perfect players. Like, Diamond players are obviously really good. We're like, what, top 8% or something now that the boundaries got shuffled a bit? So, Diamonds have most things locked down, but with, like, strong multitasking, you can pull the mech player apart. But on this map, it's... You've got to try hard. Hopefully, we'll see Bio.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gulu plays mech all that often, so we'll have to
That's
see.
true. I've only seen one game of his, and that was where he beat me. So.
Yeah, indeed. Well, and speaking of, spawning in the bottom right here of Akalon Waste, our pink Terran player from CT6 is Gulahind.
And we have, towards the top of the map, as the Red Zerg player, going for the extractor trick. It is infamous for Team UnRivaled.
Where is he? I always do this incorrectly. I think he's from...
Austria.
Austria, okay. Wait, no. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Your sheet says Austria, so,
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
there you
trust
go.
myself.
You trust yourself.
I had Latvia in my head for some stupid reason. I think because like the colors of the flags are almost kind of similar, maybe.
Yeah, I think Latvia is a deeper red, but
Yeah.
close enough.
The idea was
Either way.
Either way, it's not true, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's that.
Alright, what do we have? Match first, Reaper, nice normal openings. That's what you'd expect at the Diamond League. Honor, I think this is the most macro-y of maps in the now dead Dream Pool. Cut for that. What was that? Daybreak, that was pretty good. Clown Kingdom was okay.
Daybreak too. I think Cloud Kingdom was a lot easier to all in on.
Yeah, with
Perhaps.
the no ramp on the natural and on the third. So that's true. But we do have Hatch first, nice and normal. Pool going, actually Gas going to be at 16, so Infamous opting for the quicker Zergling speed. That does allow him various options in the mid game. He's probably not going for a Roach opener, but that does allow him to go for various types of all-ins, macro play, fast 2-base play, all sorts of fun play with this fast Gas. So we do see that Gulu is opting for... He has one Reaper on the way, and the SED Scout's going across it. Will we be seeing the second Reaper? What do you reckon?
I kind of doubt it. He's not making the depot right now, so I would imagine he's just going to expand and probably make a reactor on that barracks and just go directly into the Marines. But you still can't make that second Reaper. But it's not.
I think it's a map
it's not exactly a great map for Reapers anyway. So
yeah, map dependent and player dependent as well. Like, as I'm only a fairly new Terran player, I'm at the moment making one Reaper against Zerg because I can't be bothered to micro them. I just go in and scout, see what's up, and I'm like, nice, gas, no gas, third, Queens, cool, let's go. So yeah, with the no depot, that allows you, basically forces you actually to go into the reactor. Otherwise, you'll be supply blocks as you want to keep building stuff. So you go into the reactor, the depot. That's all well and good. We have a normal looking game.
Well, you say that.
Nice.
Speed has not started yet for Infamous, and he's still mining gas. He's up to 150. So it's either a mistake or he's... Yeah, it's either a mistake or he's... Okay, there we go. Speed has started now. May have just been not... He may have been more worried about defending his Reaper first, and making sure he had everything set up, than getting Speed directly started. And he probably wanted to pump out a few more drones with the minerals, as well as these double queens. I mean, going for that... the gas a little bit earlier makes it a little bit more difficult to pump out some queens. Sometimes he hasn't gotten the third one started just yet, so...
Well, yeah, that's because he's still mining gas.
Yeah.
So either we're going to be seeing a somewhat delayed 2-base Spire, and he's just forgotten to do it, or we're going to be having some kind of very heavy 2-base all-in, probably Ling Baneling, but Yuke Baneling off of this as well. We do have the Roach Warren coming down, actually, so this is shaping up to look like a Roach Baneling all-in at this stage, I think.
It's likely. In some fashion, it's definitely a possibility. He hasn't started a second gas anywhere at all.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm waiting for as well. I mean, he's been mining gas, and he has gone gas before pool, so maybe you can do a small amount of Banelings, but it might just be Roach Ling, which is also fine, given the fact... given the fact that this wall-off for the Terran is so big to block off that some Terrans just might delay it, even if they're being sloppy. Else, there's the back rocks that you can go and break down as well. It'll be a question of, do we see the Baning Nest follow up soon? That'll be what we're waiting for.
Goodness.
Doesn't look like
Probably not. 11 roaches, yeah. Look like it probably should be a lot of roaches and some lings, and this wall-off is still going to take a while to get there. Gulu, he's only got these 2 Hellions, and he's got a Reaper to try to scout out and see this coming, but he's going to need a money scan, I think, about 5 seconds ago to actually see this coming.
That is a shame, as 5 seconds ago has passed, so
Indeed.
that is unfortunate.
He's not going to see this until it comes, yeah.
Oh, yes, SCV thinks he's a Hellion. Okay, never mind. Oh, no, he is going across. This SCV is it a hero? No, he's building a 3rd command center. That is unfortunate.
Well.
Gulahind is completely blind to this. Now he sees a few roaches, and he thinks, hang on a minute, that's not right. And he has some Hellions and a Reaper, and he's building mines. Probably queued up a Marauder, but he's supply blocked. That is unfortunate.
This is going to be kind of rough for Gulu, I think. I mean, that's a lot of roaches, and he's only got a few Marines and Hellions. He's going to try and go, I guess, counter with all these Hellions, which is a nice idea, but Infamous is kind of set up with this. He's already got a lot of Lings back home that he doesn't care about. He's like, okay, you can counter, that's fine. I'll just kill your entire base.
Oh, that Queen placement. Oh, they're pushing the Hellions, pushing each other through. That's something, I guess, but these roaches are in the main base now. They killed the factory.
Factory itself. Not even the reactor first. Just going straight to the factory.
Yeah, and Gulahin's queued up all 5 units in his barracks. He's trying to get some more barracks out, but I think his scouting wasn't necessarily on point here. I mean, with the first Hellions that he made, he didn't really run out on the map and check the status of the Zerg's 3rd base, or how many queens they had, what creep spread was going on. So that seems to be either a chosen... risk that he took there, or alternatively just an error.
Yeah, so we will go into game number 2 of this series directly. That was a fairly quick game number 1. I mean, 12 roaches tend to do that to a player who was planning on taking a 3rd CC at his 3rd base, which is that's some kind of greed, especially without actually scouting. It may just be something that Gulu hasn't seen very often, honestly. Expecting to, if you gun in there and you scout that gas first, and it's gonna be speedlings. I need to be out of here with my Reaper. I can't really do much with that, and you're just gonna go macro behind that. But it wasn't really the case. He decided to actually just go directly into a bunch of roaches and walk all over Gulu, which is exactly what he did here. So game number 2 on Shakura's Plateau. This will be Gulu's map pick. And he is spawning down here in the bottom right. As I said, a name already once. Our orange Terran player, it's Gulahind.
And towards the left side of the map, spawning in as the pink Zerg player, we have, for Team UnRivaled, Infamous. Up 1-0. So this is when he can start saying, all right, I have, if you're confident against this particular opponent, you can say, well, now's the time to do something, oh dear, now's the time to do something if, like, something crazy, like, I don't know, if I was Terran 888 Reaper maybe, or Proxy, Rax, CC First, something crazy. Also to note, Gulaheen, super nice guy, correctly
Yeah,
telling Infamous where you can spawn on this map. No one seems to know the spawns on this map, which is really interesting. I've seen that in a bunch of all-in games as well, where
well,
people are like, well, where do you
didn't they
spawn?
change it? I'm not really sure. I can't remember if they changed
This map
it.
has been changed, so oh, a little bit of a misplay there from Infamous, stopping a few of his drones. But yeah, originally this was a 2v2 map. Firstly, so that's the first thing with the ramps here, as I previously mentioned, now removed. It was all spawns until I think one of the early BlizzCons where MVP just like Proxy 11 ST from his own main, and then they decided, hang on, vertical spawns are really dumb, so they removed those. And now it is left versus right only. So like these games, it's both on bottom, or like the previous Shakuris game, it was cross.
Yep. Gulu asking for the Overlord to come back. This is a gasless opener here for Gulu. He's wanting to expand very quickly. Once again, Gulu is a little bit of a greedy player, especially when you lose the first game. It's kind of fun about some of these sort of games where the players are good enough to know what the opener is. Like you can call it, and then it's kind of like a little bit of BM, just throwing in. I know what your opener is. This is what you're doing. No, I'm not doing that. I have 2 gases actually at my natural that you didn't see, and I've been mining from them.
Long range mining, even. That's some dedication, yeah.
Yeah.
So marine openers are kind of uncommon nowadays in this matchup, at least. Normally, the most you'd see is a 1 marine, then straight into Reaper as normal, and you use the marine, try and fake out the player and saying, hey, look, I'm going Reaper, I've got gas. Oh, wait, here's a Marine, your Overlord's dead. Or alternatively, just as a shoo away from any shenanigans you might be doing. But straight gasless into actually double gas straight away. Sometimes we see 3rd command center or double barracks, but this time we have double gas. So we're going to be seeing some fast tech out of Gulaheen. What do you reckon? Banshees?
Perhaps. I was actually... Yesterday, I was casting Pisosa versus Resker, and no, it was the M. The M kept doing this. He would open gasless and then go directly into 2 gas, and he would do just a quick drop, actually, like a marine drop, and it was kind of just surprising to the Zerg player, not expecting to see 8 marines at his main base that early. Gulu getting a few marines, maybe. Okay, he does. He loses one of those marines. He kills a few of those lings, which is nice. Yeah. Maybe could have saved one of them, but yeah, this is kind of what I was seeing yesterday from the M. He's a Bearslav's Terran player, going for this gas expanded double gas, get that factory up, get a starport up, reactor on that barracks, just make a lot of early units, but it delays stem for such a long time.
Yeah, that's the thing with those aggressive builds. Speaking from the Zerg point of view, we have some roach timed gas geysers coming down around 36 or like the 5-10-ish minute mark. So probably going to be seeing some kind of 2-base roach play, and given this map, I mean, the 3rd base is so vulnerable, whichever one you want to take as a Zerg player, that normally we see Zergs prefer to opt for a more 2-basey kind of opener, at least to begin with. But we do see this drone go out to take the 3rd straight away, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it was straight into roaches following this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
you
a lair.
got the 4-queen overton, which is nice.
Yeah.
There, the lair is on the way as well. Yes. So imagine seeing some Roachborns soon. I mean, even just having a Roachborn for safety is always kind of a good idea.
I still think it's going to happen because we don't have Zergling speed yet, right? So Zergling speed was going to come down now, if anything. So it's got to be roaches, right? You're not going macro with queens, and you're not going with slow Zerglings. There has to be a Roach Warren here somewhere, and I really think this is missing. He didn't get Zergling speed, did he? No, that's still gone. Huh. Maybe he just thinks he's... Oh, yeah, here it comes down. I guess he's just waiting for getting the upgrades first, as his money was a bit scarce, then getting it down. Okay. Meanwhile, we did have Banshees.
Cloak Banshees on the way, yeah. We got Cloak Banshees actually going to be coming out here. So this is going to be any sort of drops. Looks like a lot of Hellions. And he's got 4 out currently. They have spotted this 3rd base coming up. And there's really not much to defend that, and without that speed, This creep is, I mean, it's on the way for Infamous. He's getting it towards that third base, but it's going to be kind of difficult to hold this off, depending on how many Hellions Gulu decides to make, and with the Banshees to follow up on. This base could actually go down to this pressure, depending on what Gulu decides to do with this Banshee, where he's going to send it. It looks like he has rallied pretty well across the map to the third base.
Mm. And once this Banshee does get to the third base, that's when the third base really starts to die. I mean, Hellions, they're going to tickle it for a while, but these Queens are, to be honest, with a few Roaches, they're going to be able to clean it up. Even with the Transfuses, they might actually be able to take on these Hellions. Yeah, the Hellions are going to retreat for a moment. But we do have a mech follow-up from Guluhind. How often have you seen him go mech?
I can't really say much often. I think most of the time I see Gulu play, it's actually TVT. He doesn't actually play much anything else, I don't think. It's kind of surprising. Cloak is still 10 seconds away here, not quite finishing, but Gulu does get one of the Queens, but most of these Hellions are really low health. The armory is finished.
That, Barracks. Fine.
Oh, yeah, the armory is finished, so he can make these into Hellbats. That's all he really wanted to do, I suppose. He's got a little bit more beef to this army. And he's gonna go for this third base. I mean, Roaches are on the way, but there's nothing to shoot up at this Banshee, so the Banshee will eventually kill the third, and then the third Hatches is gonna go down.
To be honest, if Infamous is sold on this being a mech opener, that maybe, if I was, maybe Infamous is as well, actually. Because if you're seeing investment into Cloak and you know an armory's up as well, Hellbats and Banshees are pretty commonly used against mech against Zerg. We saw it a lot from 4DG versus Life in the recent, what tournament was that? DreamHack, wasn't it?
Hellions actually running into the natural right now. They're going to get a lot of worker kills. Not a lot, but they're going to get some, which is really nice. Actually, a good idea from Infamous. He just pulls the drones, but he actually pulls the drones to attack, which spread them out very nicely. So only 3 drones actually went down. So 3 drones for 3 Hellions. That's a pretty decent trade for Infamous. And Infamous is going directly into 2-2. He's not necessarily trying to just hit for 1-1. He could right now. I mean, the army supply is pretty well in his favor. But I don't think he really wants to try to attack up this ramp, and realizing that there is probably Banshees out, and seeing the opener he saw. I mean, what else has he seen right now? He hasn't actually seen the infrastructure at all. He's maybe thinking this is actually just a mech opener. He may be expecting a bunch of tanks to be out right now.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about committing to this kind of Hellbat Banshee opener. It is super strong, especially against link focused plays, but it delays everything else. Like I think you mentioned previously. At least on the stream, it delays your stim, it delays anything you want to do. So you really have to get damage done, and these are so many SE vehicles that are going to be going down. These Roaches are going to die too. But, I mean, well, I said they were going to die, but we have reinforcements coming as well. This is looking very scary.
Yeah. Eventually, well, it's just kind of the similar situation in the Cobalt game, or maybe in the Cobalt game. These Roaches will eventually die to the Banshees, but not before, what is this, 30 SCVs already dead. That number's just going to keep rising for a while. Every single one of these SCVs in this natural race has been killed off. 36 workers. That's kind of nuts.
I mean, at least... Yeah, there's 3 command centers, and Gulu did kill the third hatchery, so he knows that Infam has probably maxed like 44 drones-ish. So he's still on 28, but with 3 mules, that can rise pretty rapidly. But then Infamous did just finish like a bunch of drones for that new third base, so...
There was actually a contaminate thrown down in this factory. It was a nice little play.
Cool.
So no tanks were coming out of that factory. But there's a lot of bio here. They do not have stim. Stim got sniped or canceled. One of the two. Where was the barracks that was getting stim that it got killed off?
Stim wasn't being researched for a while, actually. That might have been a little bit of a misplay, because at least as you're going for the Hellbat Banshee, you can afford to at least start stim after your armory started, probably.
He
so maybe that should have
started. So I think he may have accidentally canceled it.
Something happened there. We missed that.
I'm not sure what happened. Maybe maybe he lifted the barracks for the factory to land on the tech lab, and that was the barracks that was researching stim. That's possible. Which would really suck.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you make the conscious decision. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to be needing stim for a while, because against Roach Hydra, the only time you'll be stimming early is either to defend like a 1-1 Roach timing, but you have the Hellbats and Banshees in this case, or for some drops. But again, that's not really going to be happening with the commitment to Banshees. You don't want to be stimming across the map parade pushing, really, because Roach Hydra is going to be building up that strong ball in the mid game. You want to be turtled down, so you don't really need stim. And if you want to cancel it in favor of tanks early on, you do have that option that some players like to take. But Either way, supplies are actually evening out now after all this chaos.
Gulu has a ton of production available. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 4 racks that have reactors. Oh, 3. I can't count very well. 2 of them have tech labs.
Yeah, there's
One
a
is
naked.
naked. And there is a drop coming into the main base now. Again, realizing that his opponent's not going to have mutas, I just need to start dropping and getting some damage done. At the same time, he's got a bit of an army out in the main of the map. And he's trying to do what damage, but right now this drop isn't really focusing on anything decent. Stim just finished, which is kind of a problem. Had he been able to actually have that finish, 30 seconds ago, this attack would have done a lot more damage. Actually, he's going to lose one of the medevacs units. That's rough.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
but
it was
again,
looking
his
pretty
macro
even
is
there
definitely
for a
on point.
moment.
Yeah, his macro's definitely on point. Catching up in workers now, almost. He's still 15 down, but he does have the 3rd command center at least, so he can eventually move that over. It's not quite 30 down as where he was almost earlier.
Yeah, that was nuts. I mean, it was looking pretty even in supply, and then Infamous was like, you know what, I need another 30 roaches, so he just decided to go up 60 supply, as you do. But Gulahind is deciding, okay, let's land this 3rd base, I need to secure this down. With the tank position on the high ground, that's something you can do on Shakura's Plateau, but with the Watchtower, actually, the Watchtower grants vision of most of these high ground, if not all of this high ground, so you could kill that with the Roach Hydra quite easily, especially with the Overseers, and he is going to focus that down right now. And this is such a huge supply lead for Infamous.
Yeah, it is. He's got 2-2 finished as well. He's just gonna he's just gonna roll in this. He doesn't care about this tank. It's only one tank. There's 1-1 on the Bioforce, but it's not really much. Army supply 110. He's doubling the army supply. He's gonna kill a 3rd base as well. And it's looking like Gulu is in a really rough spot. He did drop in the main once more. He's getting some worker kills over here, which is nice. He could probably kill the lair, but kill the lair is cool. But when you get the rest of your bases killed, it's a bit.
Sadly, I think killing the lair is going to be the consolation prize for losing this game. Like at least he can kill the lair. Actually, he's not even going to kill the lair. Wow, you don't even get the consolation prize, Gulahind. I'm sorry. This is so many Roach Hydra right now, and I played enough games against Tang to know that this sucks when you're in this spot.
Yeah. There's not really much coming back from this. The natural CC goes down as well, and Gulu, he's just trying to wait this out. He's got a lot of production still, which is nice, but I mean, 51 workers to 14, 3 bases to 2, a 4th base coming up for our Zerg player. Infamous looking like he's gonna take this Ace Series 2-0 and give UnRivaled an eventual 6-3 victory here in the Consolation match. There we go. That factory. Okay, no rush. 65 minutes.
Go away
now,
for
no
65 minutes. All right. So Gulahind has a plan for the 80-minute mark.
It's possible.
This game is going to go on for a while, maybe. It seems like Infamous is not going to be adhering to that, though. He is going to continue the A move and take the victory. A wise choice.
A wise choice indeed. So there you have it. That will conclude at least the consolation match here, UnRivaled. And they did have it clinched in the previous set, but just wanted to get it all out there. So 6-3 in favor of UnRivaled here. So congratulations to them, and of course congrats to CT6 taking 4th. I mean this is a 14 team league, so 4th is no bad.
That's hard.
Anything. Yeah, it's not like
it's
not like this is a 4-team league and they got last.
You need to get top 4 in the group to at least have a chance, and then you've got to get through the bracket stage as well. The
brackets are volatile. The brackets are volatile, and just because I think I need to 1 second.
Do you believe in a thing called Roach? Do you believe in a thing called?
Oh, I played it twice. You didn't hear it, but then stream will, no problem. Anyway, so that's gonna wrap up this portion of the cast. I will take down the stream for a moment. I'm going to get a couple things set up with our finals casters, and then I will turn the stream back on for the countdown to the finals. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, of course, to Stark for joining me. Pretty late notice to join me, but thanks to him, of course.
An hour or something.
And also, of course, happy birthday to Stark. We are, an hour into the day, so congrats on living another year.
What a birthday present. Thank you. I'll wait for my next one from the casters next.
Right. Well, I'm sure maybe Casey is going to do something. We will see. But yeah, we will have Casey and Couchy up next. The stream will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, assuming that Couchy and Casey are both online. I hope they are. I assume they will be. But do stick around. Yeah, they should be. Do stick around. We'll be back pretty soon. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.